Hey YouTubers, it's Charlie. So this is kind of like Captain America Civil War week, but there's big Avengers Infinity War news. The same people that are making Captain America Civil War are making Infinity War. They just announced that they're going to be changing the titles of Infinity War Part 1 and 2 because it's a little misleading. Both of those films are going to be very different. It's not going to be like one film cut into two parts. So this is going to be my fun video for all my favorite alternate titles that I think they should go with. And if it wasn't clear, Spider-Man is definitely coming back. He will have a new suit. That's the only thing they've confirmed about his involvement in the film. But if you've seen Captain America Civil War, I think he'll fit into Avengers Infinity War the same way he fits into Civil War. Like, he'll be a really big deal, but he's not going to be the central character. So that would be so amazing. Spider-Man wearing the Infinity Gauntlet, but totally never going to happen. If you've seen the way Marvel typically subtitles its films, like they don't do Captain America 3, they do Captain America Civil War, you can kind of guess the direction they're going to go in. It needs to be generic enough so that somebody who's never seen a comic book before could look at the title and kind of guess what the theme of the film is. Like Civil War, all about an internal battle, very easy to understand. So for all of these picks, Avengers has to appear in the title. It has to be the first word in the title. So it's Avengers ... So really easy picks if you've never read the Infinity Gauntlet storyline. So we have Thanos Quest, Infinity Gauntlet, then Infinity War, then Infinity Crusade after that. There are a lot of Infinity titles for Marvel. I think whatever the title ends up being, whether it be 2 words, 3 words, 4 words, even more than that, I don't think they'll go with more than 4 words. Avengers and Infinity will both be in there. So really it's just a question of what that other word is. But in like the first part of the classic Infinity Saga, Thanos finds out where all the Infinity Gems are. They're in possession of the Elders of the Universe. Obviously, in the Marvel movies, that's a little bit different because Vision is definitely not one of the Elders of the Universe, but he has the Mind Gem. Same thing for all the other Infinity Gems. So the first part of Infinity War needs to be a movie where Thanos assembles all the gems, where he goes around, assembles them, probably assembles the gauntlet by the end of that movie, and then the act break is him doing something really crazy. Then Infinity War Part 2, whatever that title ends up being, is the Avengers fixing all the derps. So still talking about the first title, Marvel could just go straight up and call it Avengers Infinity Gauntlet, and that would be the name of the movie. It's not a super aggressive title, like it doesn't scream, oh my god, I gotta go see this. Like Civil War is a very action-oriented title. The name War is in the title. It tells you exactly what's going to be happening in the movie. So I think that they would use Infinity War for the second movie, so I think that'll actually stay the same. They'll probably just change the title of the first film, because there won't be as much war as there will be assembling Infinity Gems. So Avengers Infinity Quest, Infinity Gauntlet, both really solid picks. I'd also say Avengers vs. Thanos would be a great title, but it doesn't leave room for Infinity to be in there, and I think they want to avoid any comparisons to Batman v Superman, so no V in the title. I think they'll just try to sidestep that landmine. Infinity Crusade is also a really good title, but that story was kind of a sequel to the first Infinity Saga with Thanos, so I don't know if they would jump straight to that. It's a completely different storyline with a completely different antagonist. It's more of an Adam Warlock story, and thus far, the films have avoided him. I know everybody wants him to be Star-Lord's dad, but I don't know if they'll go in that direction. Most of the Guardians of the Galaxy 2 Star-Lord dad videos that I've done have been leaning more in the direction of Eternals and Star Fox, or Eros of Titan, who's one of Thanos' brothers. We can start talking more about that when we get through Captain America Civil War. Annihilation Conquest was a really big storyline from the comics that they could borrow from. That was actually the storyline that got the Guardians of the Galaxy to assemble in the first place. It was a storyline that came after the Avengers had shot Ultron into space. Ultron kind of assimilates the Phalanx, like this cybernetic culture, and they go into this huge war with the Kree Empire. So it's like a, very Guardians of the Galaxy oriented type of story. But I think with the Marvel movies, they're going to try and keep it relatively simple. It'll be Thanos, his minions versus the Avengers, and eventually the Guardians of the Galaxy. They said that Peter Quill will team up with the Avengers. I don't know about the other members of the Guardians of the Galaxy, but definitely Peter Quill. So last big pick, not very likely, but Avengers Secret Wars would be a really awesome title, but I don't think that they would be able to get to that. Maybe the culmination of what starts with Phase 4, they could do Secret Wars. But if you read Secret Wars in the comics, they use that as the big event to retool their comic book universe. So I think Marvel's going to do the same thing with Infinity War in the movies. It's going to use it to reset a lot of things, change characters up, introduce new characters, just wipe the slate clean so that when they start with Phase 4, they can go in a new direction with the movies. They don't have to be completely chained to the stuff that they did before, and if they want to keep everything in continuity, they can still do that too. But I think we can probably agree that Infinity War Part 1 is going to be retitled to Infinity Gauntlet, Avengers Infinity Gauntlet, and they'll retitle Infinity War Part 2 to just Infinity War. So you get Avengers Infinity Gauntlet, it'll be Thanos assembling the gauntlet, then you'll get Infinity War, it'll be the Avengers in the Marvel Universe rallying against Thanos to fix everything that he's done. But let me know in the comments, even if they're just like a fun title, what would you want them to do? Like Deadpool versus Thanos is a really good comic they did recently where Deadpool gets his hands on the Infinity Gauntlet. It was completely ridiculous. It's not really considered canonical. You can't really consider it with the main series because a lot of Deadpool stories like that, the crossover titles, are just meant to be like really fun stories off in their own little world. But even though I think it's going to be a long time before we ever see Deadpool in the Marvel Universe, in the movie universe, they might get to the place where they can make subtle jokes and references to it, mostly visual references. There are a couple different levels of Easter eggs. One, like the really biggest Easter egg, is when you put an actual character in a movie that's walking around, you cast an actor for it. Next step down for that is if a character references something else, like they reference Doctor Strange during Winter Soldier. The lowest level of Easter egg is if there's like a picture on a wall behind a character, or there's like a logo, or there's a name on a list. So maybe Fox and Marvel can get to the place where they can, make subtle references to each other, like Deadpool can make fun of the Avengers in the Deadpool movies. The Avengers could put Wade Wilson's name on a list somewhere, but give me all the most ridiculous Avengers Infinity War alternate titles you can think of. This is really done more in the spirit of fun. I think we all kind of agree the actual title they go with is going to be a variation on Infinity Gauntlet and Infinity War, but I'm hoping that Marvel has a little bit of fun when they start marketing this, like they put up all the fake names that they thought about calling the movie, like, Deadpool Quest, Deadpool versus Thanos, Deadpool and Thanos versus the Avengers, Avengers Totally Effed Part 1. But in related fun news, giveaway time. Congratulations to the Captain America giveaway. Keegan Fitzgerald, you win a gift certificate for 2 IMAX tickets to Captain America Civil War. Really, it's a gift certificate, so you could use it for whatever movie you want, but you would be a fool to not use it for Captain America Civil War. So please private message me on the back end of my channel so I can get your contact details. And because I'm going to be doing a whole bunch of Captain America Civil War videos, I'll keep doing the giveaway. So the next round will start the next time I post a Marvel video. I do have Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. that I'm still working on, so that should post by tomorrow morning. While you guys wait for my next video to post, you can click here for my Flash video from last night. There was a whole bunch of Flashpoint stuff that happened, and you can click here for all my Captain America Civil War videos. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Let's high five. I'll see you guys tonight.